1160 AM, KVCE, Dallas-Fort Worth's business authority.
And welcome back to Gene Long's Biker World here on Inside the Game as we return talking more about the Outlaws. Just a reminder, coming up on Monday, we will have a NBA draft preview on the Good Sports Guys with Gordon Griffin, Matt from Welland, and myself, Matt Swinney. Now let's return you back to more of the Outlaws as we talk about them on Gene Long's Biker World with Gene Long.
Thank you very much, Coach Matt. I'm here with Biker Babe Rhonda Newsom, and in fact, there's quite a few Biker Babes in here. And some bikers in full colors in the studio tonight, making sure I make no mistakes. So we want to make sure we do it right. That's what we're going to do. Yes, July the 4th, 1964. That was an important date in the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. If you're just joining us, we're talking about 1% Motorcycle Club. Those guys who aren't all the good guys, the 99%. What they are is the outstanding different clubs, the 1% clubs. So on July the 4th, which is almost 49 years ago here, coming up pretty quick, the Cult MC from Voorheesville. I know a guy named Ron Voorhees, and I guess that's it. Voorheesville, New York. They patched over and joined the Outlaws. Later that same year, the Outlaws became associated with the Gypsy Raiders from Louisville, Kentucky. That's quite a jump, you know. And then Milwaukee.
Hey, Gene, does that happen quite often? Do a lot of these other
It
clubs
does.
jump?
It really does. You know, sometimes it's done by intimidation. Other times they actually, maybe they're having trouble in their own neighborhoods, not getting the respect. That's an important aspect, you know. And some of the guys getting pushed around. So what they'll do is they'll contact one of the clubs and go, hey, listen, guys, we're interested in joining you. And at that moment, they'll send some representatives in, see what they're all about, and they'll join the nation.
And, and it could be they're just needing better organization, better leadership, stronger leadership, better rules, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because all these clubs have bylaws, oaths, oaths of allegiance, you know. And one thing tonight I wanted to show, and the reason if you're getting bored and you're just listening, January the 1st, 65, and then 69 and 69 and all and over, you'll hear France, Australia, France again, Norway, Belgium. Then you'll hear Germany and the Welsh and the English and Thailand and Sweden. The point is, this is an active, ongoing activity in the world. These clubs are getting bigger. It is a worldwide, and this is the oldest guy since 1935.
Right.
You know, General Motors has been around, and they just lost everything and had to be put back together.
Right.
But look at these little clubs, you know, they're strong.
75 years worth of being active.
It's amazing. And they're getting bigger.
Right.
You know what? And, you know, they really give law enforcement a hard time. Because in any organization, you're going to have some bad people who get in trouble. And then you're going to have good people that don't get in trouble. And they're all mixed in there. You know, I've heard many times how some of the clubs say, you know what, we're not about that. We're about having a great time and being left alone. If there's one thing you can say about a biker is they like to do their own thing. They like to be independent. They like to ride free. And, you know, I can tell you my personal experience with the Outlaws. My roommate, bless his heart, and his name was Crowbar. That's his biker name. And his real name was Crow. First name?
Paul.
Paul Crow, that's right. Paul Crow was a retired Navy diver. He was quite a guy, really good guy. But he liked to drink. And he was pretty much a constant drinker. And I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to say Paul was only 53 or 54. And alcohol took over. And he had liver failure. He died.
Right.
And as a sort of a tribute, of honor to him, the president of the Outlaws came from Oklahoma. We had his funeral up in Gainesville, which is pretty close to the Texas-Oklahoma border.
Right.
Yeah, and so the president of the Outlaws actually came to the funeral.
Wow.
And we had quite a few other outlaw groups, you know, 1% groups showed up and paid their respects. And I thought that was neat. I lost another guy, too. So if you ever hear me talking about alcohol, I lost a really good friend, Carl Hancock. And Hancock had every reason to live. But he could not stop drinking, and just a couple of months ago he passed away.
Alcohol is tough to give up.
It is, evidently. I knock on wood. I drank a lot in the service, certainly in my Vietnam days and stuff like that.
They gave you every opportunity, too.
Well, yeah, everybody always wanted to buy me a drink. I decided you couldn't do everything in life, You can't do drugs and alcohol and women, so you got to pick one. So what I did was I picked women.
I was going to say, which one?
And right now, and probably for the rest of my life, I've picked this woman right here, Miss Rhonda Newsom. So I get to call her Gruesome Newsom. Hey, thanks. It's important to have somebody. And you know what? That's what these bikers are all chasing. They're chasing love, brotherly love. They're chasing girls. They're having a good time. And they're riding free. That's the credo right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gene, do they join because of the brotherhood or the camaraderie?
I think so. I really do. There's an opportunity there. Let's just say, and I'm not picking on anybody, you're a welder and you work for a company and you don't even own a car and you live at your mother's house in the back in the garage apartment, and basically people at work kind of give you a hard time. They laugh at your expense. They wonder what you're doing. And you know what? You're all alone in the world. There's nobody with you. Well, you can go to one of these motorcycle clubs, and there are a lot of 1% clubs in the Dallas Fort Worth area. We've got the Scorpions and many others. And if you go read Bill Hayes' book, we've probably got twice as many as we thought we had.
And that's the One Percenters Encyclopedia.
It is One Percenters Encyclopedia, and by Bill Hayes, one of his many books
We've
about.
had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
That's right. And you know what? Go get that book and sit down, and you'll start laughing. You've never heard names like that. It's crazy. We'll do a whole segment where we just read the names.
Can we do that? I don't know if the censors will let us.
Well, I can. I'm allowed to. Of course, I got a dump button.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
I have it censored.
Well, I want you to know the legal title is The World of Outlaw Motorcycle Clubs from Abyss Ghosts to Zombies Elite. So that gives you, it's going to cover them all,
It's A to Z.
A to Z, and they're in there. And some of the people made it. I'm not sure they wanted to make it, but they're in there. That's what,
I was reading the club motto for the Outlaws.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. That's something they want to say, and you know what?
It's GFOD.
That's right. And like so many things, it means something.
Of course it does.
Uh-huh.
It's, God forgives, outlaws don't.
And
the one thing that we also need to keep in mind is the outlaws do not seek nor want publicity. It's their club. It's their group. And we don't mean to be stepping on any toes, but they're a big group, and they're important in the 1% motorcycle clubs.
Well, and hey, you know what? You're doing something right. Maybe it's in your own mind, maybe not in the public's mind, but you're doing something right if you can hold something together like this for as long as they have.
Yeah, for over 75 years.
Yeah, that's amazing is what it is.
Is that the oldest
it is.
motorcycle group?
Mm-hmm. Continual group. The Booze Fighters were formed in 1946 by Wino Willie Faulkner and J.D. John Cameron right there in California. But by 47, of course, they're the most famous because in 47, July the 4th, funny how July the 4th keeps hopping up. July the 4th, 1947, they all met in Hollister, California, where they had a great time, a great party. Some of it's been sensationalized. Pictures were taken and put in Life's magazine. And basically they said, motorcycle group takes over town. Some of that's true, some of that's a little legend, But it spawned the movie, The Wild One.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with Marlon Brando.
Right.
And there was never a greater moment in motorcycle history than Marlon Brando sitting on his Triumph and the girl sitting on the ground in front of him stroking one of the fork tubes. this was a moment that slid through the censors, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they wouldn't even let Lee Marvin be called Wino.
Right.
They had to call him Gino because,
Gino,
yeah.
That's true. We'll wrap up our talk of the Outlaws coming up next here on AM 1160 KVCE. You can listen to Gene Long's Biker World every Friday evening from 8 to 9 here on your home for Business Authority, the Wall Street Radio Network, your DFW Business Authority. And we'll wrap it up talking Outlaws, and we'll have Gene's Tip of the Week coming up when we return here on AM 1160 KVCE here on Inside the Game.